FM News Talk 97.1.
On-demand audio.
We can't talk about the debt ceiling. You can't talk about the budget until you talk about the health control law. And I was very happy that Paul Ryan and his path to prosperity, and granted, I think there's a couple of hiccups here and there. I think it was the best that could be done with the deck that you've been dealt. But it looks to defund health control, and it goes further than any other lawmaker has ever gone. I've always maintained, as I still do, health control is an unconstitutional piece of fascistic farce, and I will go with that until the thing is defunded or overturned. And we had Prop C here in Missouri, which was the first challenge to this law at the polls. It was absolutely rejected. And we had Missouri's Lieutenant Governor, Peter Kinder, who also filed suit on behalf of Missourians against this. And in a very weird turn of event, Missouri's very Democrat, Chris Koster, Attorney General, has filed this amicus brief, from my understanding, where he sort of agrees with it. It's all very interesting, and the Lieutenant Governor joins us on the phone right now. Peter Kinder, good afternoon to you.
Thanks so much for having me back, Dana, and thank you also for teaching me the proper terminology that I use all the time now, the federal health control law.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's original with you, Dana.
Well, I appreciate it. This news with Chris Koster, he comes out and with this, he comes out and lays out his arguments about how he thinks the health control bill is unconstitutional.
Yeah.
What did you and now he's being attacked by progressives. The first thing, did you know that this was something that he was going to do? Did this completely surprise you out of left field? Where's he coming from with this?
I can't say I was surprised. We had some back channel communications with him from last summer. He actually intervened after I filed my constitutional challenge in federal court in Missouri, Dana, and intervened to have me knocked out. And after 1 month of back and forth between him and my office, he climbed down from his attempt and went whimpering out of the courthouse without leaving me intact to bring this suit. Now, I was not bringing it on behalf of the citizens of Missouri and the state of Missouri.
Okay.
I was bringing it as a private citizen joined by 5 other private citizens, but also in my official capacity as lieutenant governor, but not for the state of Missouri.
Okay, excellent.
Whatever citizen. Now that he has joined me, at least on the individual mandates unconstitutionality, he has joined with the friend of the court brief in the Florida case. I salute him for that, but I would liken it to sticking not your big toe in the water, but your little toe in the water, because he's not the Attorney General of Florida or a resident of the Sunshine State. He's the Attorney General of Missouri.
Right.
And there's only one case, Dana, that implicates Missourians' rights to stand up and direct our own health care choices pursuant to the Health Care Freedom Act we voters passed by 71% at the polls last August. And that's the case in the constitutional challenge I filed last July 7th.
Right.
So we applaud Mr. Koster for, after 13 months, sort of kind of getting in this fight.
Yeah, and that's interesting.
But he's in the wrong court in the wrong state.
Right. And that's interesting that you say sort of, kind of, because there's a lot of things that conservatives are looking at. Some of the stuff that he's written in this amicus brief, which is available, it's on in the whole document on Scribd online. One of the things that he actually was discussing was the Commerce Clause. A couple of the things that he wrote in this seemed like red flags to me, because he was kind of making the case that since everyone's going to be having some kind of health care procedure at some point, that it seemed to me that he underscored the administration's interpretation of the Commerce Clause with this.
Well, he sort of did. You may not be surprised to learn that he wants to have it both ways.
Right.
He tries to split the baby and keep the baby alive. but it's regrettable that he. First of all, let's laud him for coming out and saying that if you read the Commerce Clause this broadly, then government can do anything. Then any majority can do anything that majority wants to any group of citizens. We could wake up one morning and find that Congress has passed a law saying buy your broccoli and eat your broccoli, and oh, by the way, show up at the gym by 7:30 4 mornings a week, or we're going to fine you.
Right.
$800 a year, or buy only government Motors, General Motors cars, and not Toyota, Ford, or Nissans. And then, Dana, the other aspect that's really on the line for Missouri taxpayers is the violence and the wreckage this is going to do to our state budget.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This is the mother of all unfunded mandates, and that is not a Republican who said that. That's the Democrat governor of our neighboring state of Tennessee, Governor Bredesen, who's called this the mother of all unfunded mandates. Now, it's going to impose billions of dollars of cost on Missouri taxpayers. You know, poor old Bernie Madoff is doing 155 years in a federal penitentiary for the kind of fraud that is embedded in this bill that
it's
Les Carnahan and Claire McCaskill and Nancy Pelosi passed.
Oh, well, that's okay because it's in the legislature. They had to pass it to find out what was in it. I wanted to ask you this as well. One of the other things that kind of sort of seemed to be a red flag to me in the letter that Coster wrote is he seemed to suggest that Prop C, which was passed in Missouri in last August, is conflicting with the health control law, which it seems a weird argument because it's been disproven over and over again. Do these kinds of things that he has in here, does it give you worry that it's not going to be as much support for this issue as you had hoped it would be?
I still have my fingers crossed, Dana. We have actually filed the Coster brief, in my case, as supplemental authority. That is, the chief legal officer of the state of Missouri is now on our side of this issue on the unconstitutionality of the federal government requiring individual private citizens to buy a private product in the private marketplace. We've never done that in the history of this country. And let me give you a wonderful little historical lesson that we remember from elementary school. 1774, 2 years before the Declaration of Independence, we had the Stamp Acts imposed by Parliament on American colonists, and we said that's too much. We also had the Intolerable Acts. We said we will not tolerate either of these, and we're going to boycott British goods. The colonists instituted a boycott of British goods. The legal advisor to the king, Dana, and to Parliament advised the king and the Parliament that the American colonists were within their rights to boycott, that is, not to purchase something that was coming from the mother country.
Right.
So 234 years later, last year, we have Congress led by Nancy Pelosi and a president who said we must buy a product in the private marketplace. Thus, they asserted a power over us, over us American citizens, that the King of England did not have over us when we were his
Absolutely.
subjects.
I don't want to rush you. We're getting up against a hard break here. I have one more quick question for you. I know your schedule is really tight. Do you think that if Coster was serious about this, that he would have filed a case in Missouri and taken it to the Eighth Court of Appeals?
He had two options. Absolutely. He had two options. File his own case, which he well could have done. He could have done that yesterday, or he could have joined mine. Since he didn't want to file his own, the option he should have taken is to join the only game in town. That's mine.
Well, I appreciate all that you have done to keep us free from what I believe is absolute overreaching tyranny in the case of this health control law.
Thank you. We're in this battle for the long haul, right alongside you. Thank
Absolutely. You. Lieutenant Governor Peter Kinder, many thanks. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care.